Joan of the Garden was built from voice and guitar, for at least the first two parts, that first long section. And then we built it from there. That was really a construction project. But the last part, the kind of riffy part, the sort of Iron Maiden-y part was kind of more traditional. We knew that, we needed to actually play that all together and then flesh it out from there. I knew it was going to be a long song because we did have the three parts of what I think of as, and the initial three parts was the opening part and then the kind of the big swelling part that follows that. And that's how it was in the demo, and then it went straight into the riffy part. But I had this feeling that it needed more, it needed something, it needed to be a longer journey. And I'd thought about writing, I had other pieces that we could put in there that were actually written musical pieces. But for whatever reason, it didn't feel right to have a fourth musical piece. It felt like it needed something to explore, because so much of the song, this idea of Joan in the garden, right? Because that's her moment of visitation. That's where she's visited by these angels, by these saints, and her mission is given to her, which is kind of this moment of profound hallucination, right? At least from modern sensibilities. And so much of Joan in the Garden is modern sensibilities placed on this sort of very critical, iconic story, or the critical part of this iconic story of her visitation, of this annunciation of the saints. And so it occurred to me, how do we express that in the song, that sort of hallucinatory visitation? And so it felt like I came to Tucker with the idea. The band was on board. Funk is always collecting these weird modular synths, and it was an opportunity for him to kind of go to town. So a lot of that was built. It was a really fun construction project, as you can imagine. And it did exactly what I felt like needed to be there at that point in the song. Well, I mean, do jam bands, I don't know if they do 5 minutes of noise. I felt like I got to live the life of a noise band, and I love a lot of Grouper is one of, I love that band. She's so great. And I think I appreciate a lot of noise and ambient music. It was fun to kind of explore that a little bit.